Hi, my name's Matt Nelson, primary grader at CGC. In today's CGC Insider grading video, I'm going to be grading a Golden Age comic book that has restoration. The comic we're grading is Superman 14, which features a classic patriotic cover by Fred Ray, published by DC in 1942. Very popular among collectors and very hard to find in high grade because of its black cover. After going through our grading process, we have arrived at a 5.0 with white pages for this copy of Superman 14. As you can see, the label is purple, which indicates restoration on this comic book. CGC's restoration scale is broken down into two categories, quantity and quality. The quantity ranges from 1 through 5, with 1 being slight restoration and 5 being extensive, and the quality scale is A, B, or C, with A being professional work and C being amateur. When dealing with multiple types of restoration on a book, the highest quantity and the lowest quality are used to arrive at the cumulative restoration grade. The highest rating given to a restored comic is A1, and the lowest is C5. It's very important to start with a clean workspace that's clear of any clutter, food, or drink. It's also equally important to have good lighting and also good magnification, and to make sure that your hands are clean and dry before you touch the comic book. Now to get a first impression of this comic. So glancing at this book, I notice it appears to be a mid-grade copy. There's some wear along the edges and along the spine, particularly at the staples, which still seem to be fairly intact. Flipping it over, I see some wear along the spine and also across the top edge of the back cover, but still not too bad. And glancing at the interior pages, they appear to be high quality and there are no signs of brittleness. The next step, a critical step, is to confirm the completeness of this comic book by counting its pages. This particular comic has 16 wraps, which equals 32 pages. So we'll start counting from the back. 1, 2, and 16. At this point, we're at the center of the book, called the centerfold, and we've confirmed that the back half of the book is complete. We'll now continue counting. 31 and 32. So we've now confirmed that the book has all 32 pages and the interior is complete. And while I was counting the pages, I was also assessing page quality. These pages are particularly white. I notice a slight bit of tanning along the edge, a slight bit of discoloration. But even so, given that this book is from 1942, these pages are about as white as it gets. So we'll give this book a classification of white pages. At the centerfold, the first thing to check is disassembly, which is a red flag for restoration. I noticed, based on how these prongs lie, that it appears that the book was disassembled at one point. I also see that the top edge of the centerfold is worn and discolored, which is not present on the wraps behind it. This is an indication that the centerfold was detached at one point. I'm now going to check the back side of the centerfold. I notice that there are two spots at the staple areas where the paper seems to be stuck to each other. Upon close inspection, this appears to be glue, which was applied to reattach the centerfold at one point. After inspecting this side of the centerfold, I notice the same thing. The pages are stuck together in two spots close to the staples. Like the other side, this indicates that glue was placed here to reattach the centerfold. Based on CGC's restoration scale, the quantity of this glue is small. It's one small dot of glue at the bottom staple and the top staple, which would be slight in nature, and we would assign it a 1. As far as quality though, because glue is not archival and is considered amateur, we would give this a rating of C, and an overall rating of C1 for this repair to the centerfold. While checking the cover for restoration, the first thing I'm going to do is carefully run my thumb up and down the spine to check for any indication of glue, crustiness. I don't feel anything, but because the book was disassembled, it's important to also check the inside cover for any repairs along the spine. Upon close inspection, I've determined that there is no glue or repairs along the inside spine. The next step is to check the book for trimming. It's clear that the book has not been trimmed by examining all 3 edges. At first glance, it appears that the bottom edge of the back cover may have been trimmed because of the missing text along the edge. But this is actually a miswrap, a printing defect that is evidenced by the printer's line here at the top and the extra paper visible above it. Miswraps rarely affect the grade of a comic book. I'm now going to check the front cover for color touch. Now, Superman 14 often has color touch for 2 reasons. One, it's a popular book that's valuable, and 2, it's a black cover, which are often color touched. I noticed at the top of the cover there's a sheen that's different from the gloss of the rest of the cover. I also noticed that it appears that there was a name written on this area of the cover and possibly erased, which lifted color, and color touch was applied to cover that erased area. This area of color touch is about 1/2 inch tall by 2 inches wide, which equals 1 square inch. According to CGC's restoration scale, 1 square inch equals a quantity of 2. I feel that the materials used in the color touch was acrylic or watercolor, which is professional by CGC standards, and thus would get an A rating, giving this color touch an overall rating of A2. Now that I've finished the restoration check, it's time to combine all the restoration found together to determine the final restoration grade. I determined that the glue at the centerfold had a rating of C1, and the color touch on the front cover had a rating of A2. Combining those two together, we come up with a final restoration grade of C2. Now it's time to assign the grade of this comic book. The cover's free of any creases or tears, but I do notice wear along the right edge and the bottom edge that break color. On the spine, both staples show some wear. It's determined that the bottom staple is detached from the front cover, which would normally lower the grade to 8.0 or 8.5, but because of the extra missing paper at both the bottom and top staple, as well as staple tears, this, in conjunction with the edge wear, make the front cover about a 5.5. Assessing the back cover, I noticed significant wear along the spine that includes creasing, foxing, and tears at the staples. There's also wear across the top edge, such as creasing and minor staining. Tying all the defects together, with the front cover appearing 5.5 and the additional back cover wear, I arrive at a final grade of 5.0. And there you have it. That's how we arrived at the 5.0 grade for the Superman 14. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below because we'll be answering questions in future videos. Thanks for watching and see you soon.